It's Sunday, September 7th, and, another week starting tomorrow, of course. Weekends go by way too fast. I hate that. I don't know what's new, really. My job sucks, and I want something else, but I don't know. I don't know what I want. Last night I went to Heather's new townhouse. Heather and I hung out there with Lauren's roommates. I got to meet Frank, and he was nice, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just not happy with what I've got right now. And I feel like things can get better, but I don't know. I just wonder, same old question, am I wasting my life? Got another message from Calvin on Friday. It was shorter, but it was sort of more personal in tone. He said that, basically that, well, I didn't know that this is his last semester, and I wonder what he's going to do next semester. I wonder if there's as much a point to pursuing him, but I want to. And I don't know. He says he's been partying all week, but that he's taking 21 credits, and he's trying to decide whether he should enjoy his last semester or make sure that it is his last semester. And then he talked about Princess Di, and he did ask about Tennessee, and then he said that his friends were kind of driving him crazy, and he wanted to know how I made it through St. Mary's, if I had the same kind of friends. And of course, that lent the perfect opportunity to be like, well, for a while what I did was I dated an older person who wasn't connected to St. Mary's. But I don't know how to say that, in a slick way. And I don't know. I just wonder why the hell he's writing me. But of course he wouldn't like it if I asked him that point blank, because I wouldn't like it if somebody asked me. But I just want to know what the deal is, and I just want to see him again, and I wonder if he is, the email is different from the person, and I wonder which one's him, or if they both are, or what. I don't know. But being busy is good. I'd rather not be busy on the weekends, but, and I'm generally fairly content. I'm getting by, and I have feelings of happiness and hopefulness when I don't think about change, which is good. So there's a lot of music I just turn off whenever it comes on, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I wanted to tuck into this thing, but I don't really have anything to say. I'm just sort of disgruntled. I need to exercise. I haven't exercised since last Monday, and I need to. Maybe that's it. But I've already showered, so that's not going to happen tonight. I don't know. I'll check in later. It's Sunday, October 19th. I guess I haven't tucked into this for a while. Well, I haven't taken any of my nightly drives in a few weeks, I guess, or a week, because I had bronchitis. And I'm pretty much recovered from that, knock on wood, because I hate being sick, and I don't know, I don't know, I guess I'll just say what's happened the past few weeks. I went to the health department for, I guess, the last time, since I have health insurance now, and they don't really give me good help, so I got a pap smear done, and he said that to his eye, his naked eye, there wasn't anything wrong except for a yeast infection, and he gave me medication for that, plus a dozen free condoms. And then I went to Dr. Plusas, for the bronchitis, and she said she'd give me a referral to a gynecologist since I'm going to have to be going to one, and told me a pleasant story about this woman who got HPV from her ex-husband who'd been cheating on her, and she got it so bad that she had to have a chunk of her vagina cut out and sent back together. So perhaps I should count my blessings. Perhaps I should fear the future. I don't know. went to the dentist. The kids took the Maryland functional test. Hopefully they did okay. Soon I'm going to start prepping them for the writing test. Work's a drag. It's not challenging enough, and I don't have enough to do, and I don't get to do what I want to do, and it's just... But if I can just get through this year and I have a job for next year, that's cool, I guess. So, and Hallmark, Lowe's, but, so it goes. I don't know, work's sort of boring to talk about. The stuff that's on my mind, I guess, HPV. Well, because, I've had next to no social life. I do hardly anything, especially since I've been sick. And, I don't know. I don't know. Lately, I've been wondering if perhaps I did a bad thing by hooking up with Calvin as I did, letting him touch me. Because from what I've read, the disease can be spread by non-sexual touching, whatever that means. And I let him use his fingers on me. And I thought I was being careful, but now I'm not sure. And I could tell him of my fears and have him get tested. Not that if he has it, that would help him, but it would at least help the girls in his future. God, that just sucks. I try to be so careful. I don't know. And maybe that's why I'm not that upset that I haven't heard from Calvin in almost 3 weeks. It sucks, but in a way, maybe it's just for the best. Because I don't want to have to... I don't know. I guess I should tell him, but I don't know. Chances... I don't know. I want to say chances are he's fine. But I don't know. That's the thing about this disease. Nobody knows. And if I don't tell him, is that like James? I don't know. I hope not. But the fact that he hasn't written me, just aside from that, no, I don't like that. No, I wish he had, because, for a while it seemed like things were going really well, and, our getting together was, if not imminent, possible. And I'm wondering if maybe it was that, he sent me this thing on philosophy, and I made a response to that and asked some questions, and I wonder if my questions just totally disgusted him. I don't know. I hope not. But, there are things I know about, then there are things that I don't, and that's one of them, so. But I don't know. So now it doesn't seem likely at all that we'll get together, which is too bad, but like I said, maybe it's for the best. I don't really feel that depressed generally. I've been busy, and there's just no point in focusing. If I focus, then it's bad, but I just, and I got turned on to this new website, Good Vibrations. It's this company out in San Francisco that sells, sex toys and all this stuff. So it sounds like latex love could be sort of pleasurable, maybe, if you're creative enough and are willing to spend the money to get stuff. But living at home, I'm not going to indulge in that right now. And I'm not seeing anybody, so I don't really have the need to do that right now. So, I wonder if I'll ever see anybody, since at this point, I don't feel comfortable with anything below the belt. The only person I'd feel comfortable doing that with is James, because he has it, and so it'd be nice. Except that, since he's been so careless, it's possible that he's picked up other things, and so I wouldn't feel that safe about that, but he could at least do stuff to me. like he wants to, but I have no idea what he's thinking. I know he has the letter now, and I don't know what his reaction is. I have no idea what it is. So my social life just sucks. My hair's getting better, knock on wood, and my skin's getting worse. It's all around the jawline and mouth, adult acne, it sucks. I want it to go away, and I got some new stuff today, maybe that'll help. And I'm still, fat as a pig. So, all this is just hurting my sex life. It's terrible, and I keep focusing on that. But I think Latex Love would be a good song title. And I want to do a film called Warts and All, which would be sort of a satire and informative as well. And I don't know, just because nobody wants to talk about this shit, nobody knows anything about it, and it's just this mess. It's just getting bigger and bigger. So, I don't know, I mean, if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it soon, or somebody else will, because it's just becoming a big thing. And I feel like, I don't know, I mean, if I can somehow turn this whole thing positive, and I don't know, I mean, like Minnie said that after talking to me, she went and got checked out, and she's fine, which is great. And I mean, but I feel like this may be my It's a Wonderful Life moment, that like maybe my friends will be more careful because of what happened, and I don't know. It'd be nice if James would be, but I don't know. But I mean, if I can just use this and make it into a somewhat good thing. But I am lonely because I don't see anybody, and my friends have boyfriends, and even though Mike isn't here, they're still busy, and Maria lives far away, and Dee lives far away. I mean, we email, which is good. And I always have Howard. He's my buddy. Seems strange now that I was so anxious to meet him. But the thing is, I mean, although I really feel like being in a relationship would help me in so many ways, I'd also have to deal with a lot of stuff that I don't know that I'm really ready to deal with. I don't really know how to deal with it, so I don't know. I mean, it makes me wish things hadn't gone so badly with James, but they did, and so, but I may write him again, not to resolve my feelings, just because he is somebody that understands, and I don't know, he owes me to listen, so I don't know, and beyond all that, I can't think of anything really. I mean, there's shit I have to do that I haven't done, and that I need to do, and I need to get out of my parents' house. I'm really tired of being here, but it's so expensive to do that. I don't know. So, but I do sometimes feel really hopeful about the future, which is always a good thing, and I feel up a lot, which is good. And I feel like maybe I'm making way too big a deal out of this whole HPV thing sometimes, and maybe it's just that I can focus on, like, since my life kind of sucks, even though I feel pretty up, I can focus on that for being why it does suck. And I mean, I know that isn't the whole reason, but that's like this thing, it's just this cloud, and because I don't know much about it and nobody does, it's hard to know how big a deal it should be, and I feel like it wouldn't be wise to try to lessen it, because it may turn out to be huge. I mean, if it turns out to be that, I can do more than I thought I could, then great, but until I know, then I have to be careful, and if I make too big a deal out of it and people don't like it, tough. They don't know. Because if I don't know, they sure as hell don't know. But there's most of a moon out tonight that's very pretty, and nature's beautiful, and there are these weird gifts given to us. And I don't know. There's a lot of shit too. Which if I talked about school, I could really get into. I mean, the kids that are growing up, it's trouble, but not tonight. It's Friday, October 24th. I was going to say now whether it's May Day or B-Day. The kids weren't in today, and today was basically a wasted day. It was just bullshit. Yesterday was dance, stayed for most of that. Not fun. An applicant wants me to have another interview for a job. I don't see why when I just had an interview a couple months ago, but whatever. I'm sick of this situation. Sick of living at home. I'm sick of having shit jobs. I was in this major slump earlier today and yesterday. And perhaps it was hormone related, but I mean, I just finished my period, so that's kind of weird. And I feel better now, but who knows how long that'll last. I was feeling pretty good for a while, and I didn't realize what a fragile grip I had on, I don't know, feeling out. I don't know, like, I had some realizations of sorts, I guess. I don't know, I realized that I'm really angry at James and at that girl that Nora's friends with because they have warts, and yet, I mean, I don't know about James, but it doesn't seem to have changed their lifestyles at all. They can just go on as they did before, and there don't seem to be any consequences. And yet I can't do that. I mean, I know too much, and I mean, maybe I do know it too much because it's made me scared. But maybe I've said this on here, but I'd rather be too careful, because I just don't know what's going to happen. And that's the thing. I mean, 10 years from now, their partners could all come down with warts, and they just won't know who gave them to them. And so, unless they educate themselves, neither James nor this chick's going to feel any sort of consequence. And it's not that I want them to be punished. Well, shit. I guess I do. But it's larger than that. It's just more people getting sick. But the thing, I mean, I understand, like, when you do that, you run the risk, like James, of getting caught, which he did by me, because I keep wanting to blame him for this, and he does deserve some blame, but not all, and I don't know, I just, people do shitty things, and life just goes on, as it should. I guess I'm pissed off about having to change the way I live my life when other people don't have to. Except that other people do. I guess I don't care. I just don't want to. And I have to. And, I mean, and I'm lonely and horny, sort of, and, I mean, and I'm pissed off at the situation, and the situation might be exactly the same, but the warts just makes it all worse, and I focus on that, and it just sucks, and in any case, I'm mad at them, and mad at myself, and mad at people who are happy, and mad at people who are able to have normal sexual relationships, and pisses me off. Because I know that's one reason I'm not that upset about not hearing from Calvin again, because I don't know how to deal with the whole thing. You know, like, I feel like a relationship's what I need, but I can't deal with that. I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to handle it. Especially if you compound the fact that I'm not sure that, I mean, maybe I did do a bad thing by hooking up with him and letting him touch me. I don't know. But I was feeling kind of pissed off about it because, you know, the problem with email, you know, is eventually somebody's going to want to stop, and how do you do it? Do you write to say, I'm not going to write you anymore? I mean, that's what I do, but that's not what most people do, and guys just don't seem to do that. But I didn't see it coming is the thing. Like, he was doing really well for a while, and then just nothing. Which leads me to believe that it might not even be over. I found a picture of him in the Point News. I'd kind of forgotten what he looked like. I mean, I didn't, but it's weird to see him in a picture. And, I mean, I'd still like to hear from him again. Because I can't close my doors. And I don't like having to give him up because it does. It allows James to creep right back in, and I don't want him there. I need something new. I mean, it'd be nice if I didn't need to, like, focus on a boy, but I do. So, I just do. But another interesting thing I realized was the last 4 guys, with the exception of Howard, whom I've been interested in, have all been Tauruses. Like, and, you know, I had the 2 big crushes in college, Matt, who was a Scorpio, and Jeff, who was a Taurus. And since college, I've had, like, 3 big, relationships. Shane, who's a Virgo, he doesn't fit in. Chris, who is a Scorpio. James, who's a Taurus. And then, Travis and John were Tauruses, and, Calvin's a Taurus. And, you know, I don't really believe in this astrology shit, but it is strange, especially since Tauruses are, you know, they're the bulls, and the ones who are, you know, they can't be pushed, and they're very reluctant to enter into relationships, and all that seems to sort of fit. But I guess part of the reason I think that maybe everything with Calvin isn't over is because all the other ones, even after I thought that they had to be over, they popped back in to my life. Well, except for Jeff, I guess. But even him, like, if he did maybe call me that time, so it's hard to say. Well, what comforts me about the thing about realizing how mad I am is that it's another element of the movie. And I don't know. I killed a squirrel yesterday, and it was pretty. I was bugged by it. Not incredibly bugged, but fairly bugged. And it's dumb, but I mean, I do see this as, like, sort of metaphor. I mean, the squirrels have been going crazy, just running across the street all the time, and I mean, you see dead ones all the time in Bay Ridge. And it's just like, you know, you run across the street without looking enough times, you're gonna get hit. You know, and just, there are mice in this lab experiment called life too, you know, it's just, and I see James Nye and Joanna, is that her name, as like tragic figures, you know, I mean, because tragedy in the original sense of the word is like a downfall that you bring upon yourself. I mean, of course, also you're supposed to be like this high-powered person, like a king or somebody, which we're not. And you're supposed to have a tragic flaw, which is something that's too much of a good thing, like, you know, too much confidence or, you know, whatever. And I don't really know what that would be for any of us, but and I guess the gods are sort of granting us a reprieve by having us not die. I don't know. It's all just, I miss hanging out with people and going out and being social, and my skin's shitty, and I'm trying to get over this yeast infection, and it's just, I'm not doing well. And it does seem entirely possible that I could be alone until I die, which I just don't want to be. and I could just have shit jobs and a stupid life. And I don't want to, so I don't know. But I feel alright, which is good, and maybe things will get better. They can get worse, so it's, you know, who's to say? Or they could just stay like they are, which is a bad thing. But I'm learning to, like, fear the future, which is a tragedy in itself, I think. Well, yeah, it's a tragedy. But, you know, I don't know, I've been in this, like, transition period for forever, caused by different things, and I'm just waiting for it to be over, you know, I know that life's about transition and change and all this, but I just always feel like I'm in the middle of things, and I don't know, if something were going well, like if I had a good job that I loved, or if I had a man, or, I don't know, if I just had something, you know, and I feel like I don't have any of it, but it still could be so much worse. And I need to start writing, and it's not a good environment for it, and I'm putting it off because I'm lazy and because it'd be hard, but I know I should do it. And I've been thinking that maybe I'll write James again. The desire's kind of paled now. Because I was going to write him, not like a nice letter, but like just kind of a letter. What does that mean? I don't know. Just like I don't know, just kind of this is how things are, and you're the only guy I can talk about this stuff to. You know, and yeah, I'm the warts girl. That's all you're going to hear from me. But I got to be able to, I don't know. But then when I was all depressed and pissed off yesterday and today, it was going to be a mean thing, and I don't know, I'm just going to wait on that. Because it's only been just over a month since I wrote him, and I don't know what I want to say, and I keep expecting to hear from him. But I guess I won't. I don't know. I have no idea what he's thinking. I want to know, though. I don't know. For whatever reason, I can't let go. And I don't know what's going to help me to do that. I thought it would be another man. And I think that's true. But to a point, he's still going to be there. And I don't know. I don't know what it takes. I want to be like, I want to become this good and noble and respectable person, and I feel like I'm not getting there, and I don't know what to do, and I'm tired, and I want to have some fun, and I want to just relax, and just for a brief time. I know that'll end up making me more discontent, but at least I'd have some memories to feed on, and because the ones with Calvin are growing stale, and I'm greedy. I don't know. I guess I am. So we'll see. I don't know. Sick of work. I don't have to work tomorrow night, Sunday. It's wretched. I don't know. We'll see. Sunday, November 9th. Wow. I've been hired by my alma mater, Annapolis Senior High School. I'll be teaching 4 classes of freshman English and 1 composition course. And I don't know what grade that is. And I start Wednesday. They called me in an interview 2 weeks ago, and they called me next day and said I got the job. The funny thing is, I didn't think I got it, because I thought that the interview didn't go very well. But maybe they were, I don't know, desperate or something. So, I don't know. Everyone in the middle school has been really supportive, except for Ferrer, who said basically nothing. But teachers have come up to me and offered congratulations, and I told most of the kids on Friday, and some of them were sad, and they told me they'd miss me, and one of them sang me a song, and so I'm worried about my Tayron. I hope he'll be all right. My mother will take care of him. And so maybe, I don't know, I'm hoping, I mean, now I can afford to get my own place. I'm not going to do it till January, just because I'm not going to have time to look around for December, so, but I need it, because I need my own space. Everything's just so spread out, and I feel like I don't have a good place to think. And I mean, it'll be a pain in a way, because, you know, my parents have things that will be luxuries when I'm out on my own, and then there's the fact that I just had to pay $300 a month compared to what I'll have to pay. But it's worth it. I need to get on my own, and maybe they'll help me buy a computer, and, you know, I'm 25, it's time to be out on my own. People make fun of people who are my age and living at home, which wouldn't be that bad, except that, you know, I know they're right, so that's an exciting thing. Teaching, though, I went in last week, and turns out that the guy who'd been the long-term sub, this guy I met, he'd been friends with that guy Ed, the puker that Carolyn hooked up with. So I'd had to talk to this guy while they hooked up. I don't think he remembers that, though, and I'm not going to mention it, of course. What would be the point? But I don't like him. I only have to work with him on Wednesday, though, but I mean, I'm nervous. I've been looking over, like, the stuff I'm supposed to cover, and there's so much. And I'm overwhelmed. But, and plus on top of that, there's the fact that, I mean, I'm going to have to discipline these kids, which won't be easy. Milton's not in any of my classes, which is probably just as well. But a lot of students I know are. And I want to do a good job. So my time at Hallmark's going to draw to a close. I was thinking that, I mean, we were told we couldn't quit before Christmas, and I wasn't going to. I'd planned to stay until December 30th, because by that time the rush would pretty much be over, and I want that to be over before the new year, just because I'm silly like that. And even though, like, I had been thinking that maybe I could return back in the summer if I didn't have anything else to do, although I am going to get paid on a 12-month scale, so I will have money coming in all summer. But I've just been breaking so many things at Hallmark lately that I think it won't benefit them to keep me. So I left a note today saying that my last day would be the 29th, which is my last scheduled day to work. But you know, if they ask me to stay longer, then I guess I will. But I just can't see why they'd want me to. But so I have to buy the ship from there that I wanted to buy. And then in December, I'm going to have to look for a place to live and all this stuff. Heather and I went to see Boogie Nights last night. It was good. Marky Mark's cute. I never really thought so before, but now I do. And the movie was long, but it was good. But so Mom and Dad were away. They went to see Craig. And Michael didn't have a party, but he had people over. And I was going to go back with Heather and spend the night at her place so we could hang out some more, because we hadn't hung out in like a month. And in a way I didn't really want to, because I knew I was going to be really tired and I had to get up to work this morning. But I was going to do it just because it was my opportunity. But Michael insisted on going to Edgewater with those idiots, you know, those girls, even though there was no reason they couldn't just stay there. But somebody had to watch Skipper, so I had to stay home. And Trey stayed too, because he passed out on the couch. I was really pissed, because I'm sick of Michael acting that way, you know, and it seems like everyone's contributing to his demise, even though it's ultimately his responsibility. I don't feel like anybody's doing anything to thwart it in any way, even though maybe they think they are. And I was pissed, so I wrote an email to Howard, and then he IM'd me, and we talked for a long time, and he comforted me. He's a really nice friend to have. I mean, he puts me in my place, but I know that there's an affection there, which is nice. Almost brotherly, although not quite. I don't know, I think I have PMS and stuff, so, but, I ran into Carolyn last night, which is funny because I've been thinking about her because of that whole thing with that guy who, you know, was connected to her. And she looks good, like her hair looks good, and she lost weight and stuff, which is sort of annoying, but, you know, it's nice for her. And I didn't feel like it was awkward talking to her, but Heather said that it seemed awkward, but I don't really care. And Carolyn said she'd have to call me and fill me in on all the crazy things going on in her life, and I don't really want her to. I mean, like, in a way I wouldn't mind getting together for, like, you know, coffee. I don't drink coffee, but, you know. But, I don't really have anything to share, and I don't really want to listen to her shit, and so it's kind of pointless. Like, one thing I miss about her was, like, the poetry workshops, but I can't show her the stuff I've written recently because I don't want to tell her about James and the Warts. So, you know. I started writing James another letter that's not angry, at least. It's not angry, and most of my frustration isn't directed toward him. But, and I mean, probably eventually I'll finish it and I'll send it to him, but in a way I feel like, sometimes I feel like, why? You know, sometimes I feel like I don't even like him, like as a person. You know, I mean, but then when I think of other things, I mean, I do, like when I think of how he was with his mom. But, I mean, lots of assholes are nice to their mothers, so how is that really significant? And so I don't know. But I don't know. I would sort of like things to be better between us, but I don't know. Maybe I should just let it go. I've heard from Anunya, and he's doing well. I'm pissed off at Lauren, because I haven't heard from her in a few weeks, and I haven't written her, and I just feel like she doesn't really want to hear from me, and, like, she has to put herself out to deal with me, and I don't know, like, I mean, I considered her a close friend. I mean, if she was just a regular friend, whatever, but, you know, I don't think she's been behaving like a good friend, so I don't really want to deal with that. But, you know, perhaps I'll get over it. I wrote Calvin a message, like, a week ago because I had seen a picture of him on the cover of the Point News, which was kind of weird, and also to tell him about my job. And it was a brief letter, and it was basically just written to be like, basically, he could take it however he wanted it. Like, if he didn't want to write me again, then that's cool with me. You know, good luck with everything later. If he did want to, he knew that I wasn't angry or anything. And he actually wrote back yesterday, and, you know, it was a nice letter. So I'll write him back eventually. But if he's graduating, I would imagine he won't have email for much longer. So, you know, that'll probably end it for sure. But it's nice to think that maybe something could happen in the future if one of us wanted to. But, you know, since I have been wondering whether I was wrong not to tell him about the Warts, or not that I didn't tell him that, but if I was wrong to let him touch me. But I'm not ready to talk to him about that, you know? I don't know. I mean, there's not enough proof for me to say anything to him about it, so I don't know. And I don't know. I've been trying to get my stuff together to take to the high school, but I'm going to be sharing rooms, so I won't I won't be able to put stuff in the classroom really, unless I really want to. And I'll have like my own little spot in the teacher's workroom, and they have computers there, which is good. I'm just kind of nervous about the whole thing, and I don't know how prepared I should be, but the cool thing is that there's only going to be 3 days this week, then 5 days next week, and then they have a week off, so I should be able to get a lot of work done, even though I will be working 4 days at Hallmark. Well, 4 nights. So I don't know. And so my focus now is going to be on work. I mean, this is my business now. I'm going to be making almost $27,000 a year with a 2% raise in February. And, but the problem is, like, I need 2 years for tenure. And that doesn't mean, like, I could do the rest of this year and then next year. It means I have to go another year up to November to get tenure. But you have to sign up on a year-long thing, and you can't break that, because if you do, then no one wants to hire you anymore. So if I want to teach abroad, I have to wait until the next summer, which is when I'll be 28, which isn't that old. I mean, that's how old James is, but it's still sort of a pain in the ass. But, I mean, and it's funny because, like, the place I choose to live in now could be a place that I live in for the next 3 years, which is odd. And, I mean, it all depends on how much I like Annapolis and how things work out. I don't, it's hard to tell, but I'm hoping it'll go well. I don't want to stay here forever, though, and that's the thing I'm afraid of, that, now, like, I mean, I definitely could, I could just end up teaching here for the next 30 years, and I don't want to do that, and I can't do that. So, I don't know. I mean, also, if I stay here and I teach the same stuff next year, then it won't be as hard because I'll already have lesson plans, which of course will need improvement, but it won't be as totally stressful. So work is going to be my focus, and domestic stuff, making my place a home and all that. So I really won't have time for men. I mean, meeting them and trying to cultivate anything with them, which is probably just as well, but sort of sucks. I mean, I still remember being shocked when Heather Harrison told me about a coworker who hadn't had sex in 2 years, and that just shocked the hell out of me. But now I can see it. I mean, it's been over a year for me. But I just can't imagine anyone thinking it'd be a good idea to sleep with me. They'd have to really like me. And how long does it take to make someone really like you? The only person I could think of who might not get wigged out by the whole thing would be Howard. But we're not in that kind of relationship, so. And I can't fault them for that, but it still just sucks. So, I haven't heard anything more from Dee about the whole Europe venture, which is too bad. I would like to do that. But their studio is doing well and making commercials and stuff, which is cool and exciting. I don't know. I wonder if teaching will make me happy. I want something to. I mean, it's not like I'm sad all the time. I'm not, but I'm not gloriously happy ever either. So I don't know. I feel like my brain's been sort of rotting, having to, like, relate to these young kids. Because, I mean, while it's good for me in one way to be able to talk to various audiences, I don't know. I mean, what I most enjoy is talking to really intelligent people. And by that I mean people who are learned. I mean, I love talking to kids too, but it's different. So, I don't know. And already I'm thinking about New Year's and how most likely I'm going to be alone because Lauren will be with her boyfriend, Heather will be with hers, and that's basically all there is. But I've wondered if maybe James would come home, since I think his mother's supposed to be moving sometime around here, although he didn't mention that in June. And even if he did come, he probably wouldn't call me, and I don't know if I'd want him to anyway, but he probably isn't going to come anyway. I think it's best to just get over him. And maybe, I don't know. See, it seems to me that if something's going to happen with somebody, it'd have to be somebody I already know. Which leads me to think maybe Calvin, except that he is young, and, I mean, bummed that he stopped writing and perplexed as to why, but not really, you know? I mean, one night you just can't, you can only focus on that so much. So, I don't know. And I don't want to go through all the shit, you know? Plus with him, there's the added idea that once I told him he might get pissed that I hooked up with him before unsafely. I don't know. But my main focus is school. And I'm hoping also that when I get on my own, maybe I'll be able to eat better and lose some weight because I feel like a lard ass. I mean, I heard Gershon describe me to Miss Smithers as being heavy. And, you know, I mean, that's accurate, but I still don't like it. So I got to do something about it. But living at home, it just doesn't happen. And I just feel like the sack of shit all the time because you rarely get any exercise and I eat total shit. So, but I really want things to go well, and I want this year to end well, and I want next year to be better than this year. And I don't know. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. Anything could happen, and hopefully good things will happen. Later. It's Friday, November 21st. I've completed my first week and a half at Annapolis Senior High School. And I don't necessarily feel as positive about it as I did a week ago at this time. But it's good to have my own kids, you know, and to be an actual teacher. I'm now a young professional. But it's really hard, and my lessons haven't been creative at all. And I've been tired, and two of my classes are totally awful. And two of them are okay, and one's pretty cool. But next semester I get my own room, and I'll have two classes of 10th graders in Maryland tomorrow who are the at-risk kids. Yay. I mean, those are the kids I love, but they're also the hardest to read. But I've been able to see Milton, and I gave him a ride home one day, although I shouldn't have. You know, woman and boy child alone in a car, you know, kind of a sketchy situation. But he's doing all right, so I'm glad. And I feel like I've made some small progress with individual students who I didn't know from last year. And I've done okay with ones that I did, but, you know, it's just tough. I mean, I've gotten a lot of compliments, but I think they're going to dwindle down because there was a calm before the storm, and now everything's sort of exploding. At the same time, I mean, of course the kids were bad this week because they have all next week off. But the thing is, after they come back, they're going to be wild probably for most of the next month till they have Christmas, and then they'll be wild when they come back because exams are approaching, and then they'll finally mellow out. But there's just, you know, the guy, Tom McCarthy, I mean, he's an alright guy, and he didn't really do as bad a job as I initially thought, but he just, you know, they don't have any sort of foundation, so it's tough because I have to backtrack, and I just have so much information to cover, and I feel really overwhelmed. But the teachers, the staff, for the most part, is really nice. Even Rick King's been nice. Stu Chittum has ignored me, but perhaps that isn't on purpose. And I don't want to talk to her ass anyway. So, I don't know. And, you know, last week I made an effort and I went to, well, only half of a play and stopped by the football game for a few minutes. But I want to, you know, get involved in school activities and stuff. And I'm just tired all the time, though. But it's cool, though, and I mean, I need to be able to move out, and I need to be able to get my own computer, and I need to be able to, I don't know, do stuff. But, I don't know, I mean, I feel optimistic about it, and hopefully I can stick it out, and maybe even get through another year. I don't know. But here's, like, the big news that's going on in my life. Howard wants to meet. It's strange. After 10 months, he suddenly wants to. And it's strange because my crush on him after, 5 months or so, was suddenly revived last week. Well, because, like, when I was so mad at Michael, I talked to him, and he was really nice about it. And, he just kind of kidded me, prodded me out of my being pissed off. And then the night before I started school, I wrote him a letter saying that, that I was nervous and stuff, and he wrote me back a really nice letter. And then a couple days later, he IM'd me to see how I was doing, and we ended up talking for a long time, well, for a couple hours in the evening, and we ended up talking about, like, erotic things, which we hadn't done in a while, and I guess that's partly what sparked it, and maybe just, like, maybe there was a vibe coming off of him, which I picked up. I don't know, but I started thinking about him differently, and it's funny because when I wrote Calvin back, I felt really, like, blah about it, like I didn't care. And I hypothesized to be that perhaps, my interest in Howard had revived in order to take Calvin's place, and maybe, but I was okay, though, not liking anybody. I mean, it's not the most pleasant thing, but, it was all right. And I don't know, there had just been, like, this weird sort of shift in our relationship after that last conversation, and, like, sometimes in the past, after we'd had a conversation like that, we wouldn't talk to each other for a while, and I thought maybe that would happen again, but it didn't. I heard from him on Friday, and then he went home for the weekend, and then Monday night he IM'd me, and I had just talked to Dee for hours, and, like, my friends haven't gotten used to my new schedule yet, and I keep getting calls at 11 when I need to be going to bed. But after I got off with her, I got online just to check my messages and then go to bed. But he IM'd me, and we ended up talking for a few hours. And the conversation was, it was just like a regular conversation for us. But then I said that we were talking about Yoko, and I said that I'd listen to solo Yoko if I had any, but I don't. And he said something like, well, would you like a tape you can buy for Christmas? And I was like, well, why not a CD? And he said, because I don't know of a CD of various artists that I think you would like. And I was like, it occurred to me that maybe he was talking about making me a mixtape, because I'd been wanting him to make me one for a long time, because he has cool music taste. He's heard a lot of stuff. But I was like, well, there's not, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to, go assuming. And I was like, there isn't a CD, but there's a tape. And he said, well, I'll make it for you. And I said, but I have to buy it? And he said, yeah, you have to buy it. And then he said that he'd make it over Thanksgiving, and that he could send a picture, too, if I wanted. And I was like, well, why send a picture? And he said, well, it's, the thing to do. He said, we've been talking for a long time now, and it seems kind of silly that we don't know what each other looks like. And he was like, and you can send me one back, and that would pay for the photo, and we'd be even. And I was like, aha. Because I figured that all this was probably because he wanted to figure out what the hell I looked like. And I was like, and then he said, and also you could come visit me at Carlisle if you wanted. And he was like, I'm not pressing you or anything, but, And I was like, well, what for? I mean, I wasn't, like, this rude, but, and he was just like, it's been a long time, and we ought to meet. It'd be fun, and he was like, but, whatever. And I was like, well, I don't know. It'd be weird, and I said, he asked if I would send the picture, and I said, well, I just, I don't want you to be disappointed because, I don't look like Jane Seymour or, Dana Plato or any of them. And he was like, well, I've seen them enough, it doesn't matter. And I said, well, before I'd meet you, I'd want to talk to you on the phone. And he said, why? Haven't we been talking? And I said, yeah, but, it's different on the phone, and I don't even know what your voice sounds like or what your laugh sounds like. And so he was like, well, you could call me right now. I mean, these things are really simple to do. And we exchanged addresses and phone numbers, and I was like, but, you know, I have to work. I have to go to bed, you know, it was like 2:30, and, but I wanted to then, because, you know, now my curiosity was piqued, and he was like, well, you know, I think you should, and so I did, and initially, I thought his voice was really weird. It just wasn't what I expected, because it never is, but then I got used to it really fast, and I liked it, and it reminded me a little bit of James, actually, just the way he'd be like, you know, or know what I mean? I don't know. And so maybe the pauses that he took or something, I don't know. But it was nice, and he had a nice laugh. It was kind of like I don't know, but it was cool. I mean, you know, after a few minutes, I got used to it, and it was cool talking. It was exciting. It was novel, and I don't know. One of the things I liked, and I don't know that I should, was that at one point he said that, you know, he was sitting on the floor, which is something he hadn't done in a while, and that he was looking at his chair, and he realized that it was cockeyed, and so he explained to me as he took it apart and was trying to put it back together. And at first I thought that maybe he was saying, you know, that he was bored or something, but I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. And he answered more questions that I'd asked, like, because the thing I guess that made it better in writing is that you get to choose what you answer, you know, but if you're on the phone, you get to sort of force it. But we didn't interrupt each other. In a way, it was like IMing, because we let each other talk, and then we'd say whatever. And he said, you know, I know that it probably sounds like, you know, like I just broke up with my girlfriend or something, and I want to entice some other girl up here. But it really isn't like that. He said, I don't, you know, I mean, nothing's changed except for the fact that you have a job, and that's not it. You know, I don't know. It's just, you know, it's been almost a year now, and sort of a way to celebrate or acknowledge or something, the, you know, the 1 year thing, but before winter, you know, really sets in, and he's like, I don't know, I think it'd be fun, I think it'd be funny. He's like, you could even come up, stay at my parents' house, you could stay at my sister's old room. And I was like, come on, that'd be terrible. And he was like, yeah, but it'd be funny. And he was like, but no, you can come to Carlisle, and we could hang out. Because he said before that he'd come to Annapolis, because, you know, he knows how to get there. And, but, you know, he wouldn't want to stay at my house. And then he said that we could meet somewhere in the middle, like Baltimore. I was like, Baltimore's not in the middle. And I was like, nowhere's in the middle. And he was like, you're right. And I was like, well, what would we do? And he's like, I don't know, we do stuff. You know, Carlisle has 4 acres, and it's like a historic city, and we could check it out. But it was weird to have him be the one that was, like, really into this. And it was cool because we talked about stuff like never talking to each other in a chat room, because if we saw that the other was in there and we followed, it'd be like we were following each other, you know. And he was like, I mean, it's not like I'd be jealous if you were talking to someone else, but, you know, it's just kind of weird. And I was like, well, yeah, same way for me. And we talked about how I was a good correspondent. I'd always write back pretty much right away, where he didn't always. And I don't know, like, but then at one point, I was on a cellular phone and it just died. And I felt bad, but I'd been having to pee, so I peed real quick, and then I called him back, and he wasn't mad, but I think he was a little put off for a minute. And we ended up talking until, like, I literally had to hang up the phone, get dressed, and go to work. And he had to go to the library at 7 in the morning. And, I don't know, we just didn't get off the phone, and I was like, man, you know, I told you not to let me talk for long. And he said, well, you know, you could have gotten off whenever you wanted. And, you know, I just hadn't wanted to. I liked talking to him. And, I told him about Dee and I having, quote-unquote, cyber sex with that girl. And we talked about a lot of stuff, and I don't know. It was cool. I like, a lot of it's fuzzy in my head now. For one, because we talked for like 5 hours all in all, at least. And, you know, also I was tired. I mean, I ended up just laying in bed in the dark talking to him. And then he said, when we were getting ready to get off, because he takes a long time to say goodby, he said that I should write him and tell him what I decided later in the day. And I was like, well, come on now. I need a little bit of time. And he was like, all right, well, just, you know, write me sometime. Let me know sometime if there's news or something. And I was like, well, Howard, sometime? I write you like every day. And he was like, I know, but, you know, I'm trying to be casual. And I was like, come on. And he was like, all right, write me as soon as you get home from school, and I'll write you right back. I said, okay. And I don't know, he's just really nice and just sweet. And I feel like I say the same things about all guys, but I guess that's what I like. And the day went by okay, considering that I hadn't slept, because I didn't really sit down at all. And when I got home, I wrote him and I said that I didn't think, that I wanted to meet, but that I didn't really think it was a good idea because, you know, I just didn't want things to change. And, you know, I wanted things to stay the way they were. And his message back was a little distant, and he said that he understood, but I couldn't say he didn't try to be human. And I felt bad. And I took a nap, and I thought about it, and I talked to Heather, and she was like, you know, things have already changed, you know. It's out there now. So I wrote him back again, and I said, you know, all right, we better just do this. And he was a lot happier. And today he sent me a free subscription for this thing, but it's just nice of him to think of me. Like, he's just really considerate. But I'm nervous because, you know, what if, I mean, it's a very possible thing that he won't be attracted to me at all. And, I mean, and I think he is now, you know, I mean, it's not like, I mean, if we were just like friends and we're just like, hey, let's just meet, you know, that'd be one thing. But I think that there's like a romantic interest, and for that to die because he didn't find me attractive would be bad, you know, I mean, it'd be bad anyway, but especially after the whole James thing. Not that he rejected me because of what I looked like, but, you know, and I don't know, I mean, like, if we just stay good friends, I mean, that's cool. But I don't want to lose him. I'm used to having him. I depend on him to a point. You know, he's a good friend, and I don't want to lose that. But if we stay good friends, that's cool. But, I mean, even though we get along on the phone and we're going to see each other's pictures and all that, you know, there's a chance that we just won't click in person, you know, and if that happens, I'll have driven 3 hours for that. And he said that, you know, things would change anyway, and that, you know, if we didn't get along, that I could just, you know, have his room and that he could stay in a hotel or something. And he had said before that, you know, that he'd find some place for me to stay, and, you know, it'd be cool, and that it'd be cool for me to get away and whatever. And I don't know. He said that he'd thought about doing it before, but, you know, he wasn't sure, and he was sort of skeptical about the whole cyber friends thing, but, you know, we'd been talking for so long that I guess it seemed like a good risk. But suppose, like, one of us is attracted to the other, but the other isn't. I mean, now I really doubt that he'd be attracted to me and I wasn't to him. But if that was the case, I guess we could deal with that. And if it was vice versa, and he still wanted to be my friend, I guess I could deal with that. But, I mean, it's jumping the gun, but, I mean, there is the possibility that we could be attracted to each other. And if so, then I'd have to tell him about the whole work thing, which I don't feel prepared to do. And I feel like, I mean, I'm afraid that whoever the first person is I tell, things aren't going to work out, because I'm probably not going to tell it very well. I don't know. But at the same time, I mean, his father's a gynecologist, so maybe he's a little more informed about this kind of thing. And I mean, he has his problems too. They're not the same, but you know, he's made his mistakes in life. He's had his problems to bear with. But I don't know. I mean, I do want to meet. I've wanted to meet for a long time, but at the same time, it's been nice having him as my good friend. I don't know. But I don't know. Sunday, November 30th. I've been meaning to talk into this for a while, but I haven't had a lot of time. This is the last day of Thanksgiving break, and I had to work 4 out of the 5 nights, and the other night I went out with Cindy, and it was awful. It wasn't awful, but we went to Buddy's late night, and the Clipper, and it's amazing how not into that whole scene I am. And I used to be. I mean, I wasn't always, you know, but I enjoyed going out. And now I don't. It's a pain to think about. And I don't enjoy drinking and, you know, generally. Maybe in the summer I'll feel differently, or I don't know. But anyway, so I haven't had time to talk into this really. And during the days I've been grading, you know, but not I've been playing at working, really, you know, rather than working at playing, which is far more enjoyable. You know, I graded in front of the TV, and I didn't finish, and I've been putting off planning for comp, which is a bad move. And I haven't been talking enough or writing enough about what teaching is like and what I need to do to improve myself. And I don't know. I mean, in a way, I wish I could just focus completely on it, and I'm failing. You know, this whole thing with Howard is just really badly timed, and it'd be okay if I just let it occupy a small part of my mind, but that's just not me. So, well, I listened to the last couple minutes of what I'd said before, and I was worried about telling him about the warts. That's a done deal. He knows now. Last Saturday, he forwarded me a message that he had received, well, that Helio Gabby had received, actually. And it was about people with STDs finding each other so that, you know, the venereal disease isn't such a stigma and you can date and all that. And, you know, he just thought it was funny that Helio Gabby got that and he never gets that kind of thing. And maybe he thought it was funny anyway. I don't know. I'd actually wondered if there were any groups like that out there, so in a way it was a good thing he sent it to me. But when I read it, I was confused as to what to do because, you know, there had been no reason for me to tell him before, and I didn't feel like I was lying or anything by not telling him, although I felt a little uncomfortable about it. But now that it had been brought up, I sort of felt like maybe I should just tell him. And at the same time, that brought the whole Calvin question back up to the surface, because not that I knew that I had to tell Howard everything, but I didn't want to have to tell him, or just not tell him, that, you know, I hadn't done right by Calvin. So I had to decide whether to tell both of them or not, and I knew that I probably should, but I wasn't sure, and I talked to Heather, and she said that I probably should, and, you know, I'd feel better, and it'd be out there, and everything else, and so I did. I wrote them both letters, and I didn't want to, and I was nervous about it, but, and Howard, you know, he responded nicely, you know, luck of the draw, you know, at least it's not AIDS, blah, 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 and I didn't really let it go. Part of it was that telling him was hard, but also telling Calvin wasn't. The whole Calvin thing, it brought back my finding out who I probably got it from, and just that I had it, and I had said that I wasn't gonna do anything to somebody like James had done to me, because even if he didn't give it to me, I mean, he might as well have, put me at risk out of his own ignorance, and that's what I did with Calvin. But and it was hard for me to deal with that for a few days. But when I realized that I had no idea what was going on in Iraq, it just said that I was a little too self-involved. And also, I mean, there is a difference between what James and I did, because I did a lot of research. I didn't do enough, but I tried, and that's more than he did. I mean, so there is a difference, and Calvin ended up responding very nicely and telling me not to worry about it, and that, if he does have it, he probably got it from someone else, which is exactly, well, it's pretty much what I said to James. I probably got it from someone else, not you, which seemed interesting to me. But it also seemed rather apparent that he didn't really know much about the disease, and so I wrote him back and told him the things that he needed to know. And now that probably will be it for him, because he had said that he wanted to keep communicating, and I just don't really understand why he's not interested in, like, keeping me as a friend when we don't really have any sort of history except for that one night, and he clearly doesn't want to redo that, and at this point, I don't either. Which is too bad. I mean, I still, I was so shocked when I got his response that I told Howard about it, because Howard had said that he was glad that I told him and that he felt like a confidant and blah, 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 so, and I don't know, I guess I was just pushing for something, but, I told him how shocked I was that, that he'd responded that way, and he said that my little boyfriend sounded like he either was in denial or he doesn't think very deeply about things, and I shouldn't think he's anything special. And I said, he's not the most mature person, but, I mean, he is special to me, because even though I'm not interested in him, he was there when I really needed him, and it doesn't matter that he didn't know that, it was for me, and so, And then I said to Howard that I felt like annoyed, because people that I've told about this, with the exception of James, have either been really sympathetic and or full of praise for how I've handled things, and I mean, I'd rather have people be like, you fucking suck, and then, like, get over it. And I realize that's selfish, because for one thing, people just aren't as concerned about it, since it doesn't have to do with them. And, the people I've told are my friends who care about me, so of course they're not gonna, I mean, what's the point in making me feel bad? But I felt like, since no one else would punish me, that's part of why I have to punish myself, But if somebody would just, like, get on my ass about it, then I could defend myself and get over it and move on. Because I thought I'd moved on before, but then the whole thing with Calvin brought it all back, but I'm not sure that I put Howard in a very fair position. But at the same time, I don't know, like, I didn't like, he said something about, maybe being worried that my babies would come out covered with warts, and, which isn't very nice, because that is actually a concern, and, I mean, and, he asked me if I was pregnant, and all this stuff were attempts to sort of lighten the mood, I guess, but I didn't appreciate that either, so basically nobody could do anything right, which isn't fair, so, anyway, we didn't end up talking to each other from Tuesday night until Saturday, yesterday, except that I sent, like, a brief Thanksgiving message, and he responded to that, but that doesn't really count. And so I was worried that maybe he'd just given up on me and just didn't like me anymore, or I don't know. And so I felt bad, and I didn't know what to do about it. And first I felt really guilty, and then I felt kind of annoyed with him because, I don't know, I didn't feel like maybe he'd handled things as well as he could have, but at the same time, who am I to judge? And so I wrote him a message that I've been writing for the past few days and just not sending. And at the end, I was like, I'm normal again. And I'm sorry for weirding you out, and if I did, and thanks. And if you ever need any, an ear or shoulder, I'll give it to you, or whatever. And all things considered, he's been quite nice about this. And he wrote back, and his message was rather cold, and he ended up saying, I wasn't doing him any special favors, and you weren't annoying me with your personal problems, quote unquote, all things considered. And at first I was pissed and wrote a mean response back. And then I wrote just sort of a jokey one, but then the one I finally ended up with, because I don't want to fight, and I have been the asshole, really, just acting crazy and self-obsessed, was that, sure, it's all part of being kind and just, I guess, but I appreciate it anyway. All things considered, any kindness is a gift, whether or not the giver intends it. And after that, he wrote me back a regular letter, and I think things are okay. I think that we took a few steps back, but I think it'll be okay. I don't think any irreparable damage has been done, I hope. I don't know. But as far as us being friends, I think it should be okay. And he said, when I talked to him earlier, he said that he'd almost finished the tape, which is good that he's still making it, and I guess he's still going to send the picture, but yeah, I'm afraid now more to send my picture, because that could just be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because, I don't know. So it's been a tumultuous week, but although I knew I wasn't interested in Calvin anymore, now I really know, and I know that I am interested in Howard, and I already knew that, and I don't want to screw things up. And, of course my friends have been really supportive about this and saying that I don't have to worry about my looks or about the warts thing, and because Howard and I have like this history, and I know that's true, but it kind of worried me when I didn't hear from him for a while, because Calvin had been cool at first too, not Calvin, James had been cool at first too, and then he just disappeared. And I wrote James another letter because I was sort of worried about telling them, and so I don't know. But I'm hoping everything will work out. I don't know if they'll still want to meet or not. I feel like maybe we should wait now, and I don't really know when I can anyway. Just because I wouldn't really enjoy it if I was worried about school the whole time. So, I don't know. I hope I like what he looks like, because I'd much rather have him ditch me, not that I would ditch him, but just kind of squelch things, I don't want to do that. Mindy said, I talked to her about it, she said that, since I wanted people to be mad at her, she was going to say that, she didn't want to hurt my feelings, but she was mad at me for, totally, screwing myself by being with James, who wasn't, so beneath me. And, considering the things that I said to myself, that didn't seem very outrageous. And I've forgiven myself for that because I have to. On a larger scale, I'm afraid that my weakness for that type of man might get me in trouble again. But as far as being dumb enough to have unprotected sex, that gets old, I did it, and it was dumb, but I won't do it again, I can't, so, I don't know. It'd be cool if things finally worked out for me, you know. But, you know, I've got the job. If I got the man, I don't think I'd know what to do with myself. So, I don't know. It's Friday, December 5th, 12 more school days till Christmas. I just can't wait. The kids have been so bad. Yesterday was so imaginably bad. My favorite class went off on me. It was horrendous. It was awful. But then today was pretty good. I mean, I did have to give out 2 referrals, but it still was, you know, it was better. And I know I'm not doing totally right by them, but shit, they're definitely not doing right by me either. And I'm older and maybe I should know better, but this is my first year and I just have a lot to learn, and I've been thrown into a tough situation, so I'm just trying to get through it. But, you know, I think I'm getting sick and I'm so tired all the time. And I don't know, they're just gonna, I mean, we'll just have to see how that goes. And I haven't been keeping a journal, and I should, and I haven't been writing formal lesson plans, and I should. But I just, God, I'm so, ugh. And I'm behind on grading, and interims are due Tuesday. La-di-lad. I don't know. And then there's just been, like, this other stuff going on, like, Dee and Mark are over. They're finished. They're done. And it'd been building up over, you know, months. But I didn't really realize the severity of it, I guess. And she finally called it quits. And, you know, I never thought it'd be Dee who'd do that. But at the same time, in a way, it makes sense because Mark was able to take her for granted. And not that she didn't, you know, I mean, it takes 2 to end a relationship, just like it takes 2 to begin one. But I don't feel she did a wrong thing. It's just that now she's got these serious feelings for this guy that lives with them, who she's been friends with for a year and a half, and they're like best friends and, you know, really close, except that he's in love with her and she's kind of in love with him. And that's not why her relationship ended with Mark, but it is this thing, and I'm not sure it's a good idea. I mean, she said she's not going to go rushing into anything, and they're just, you know, seeing what happens and all, and, which is what you have to do. But I'm still just sort of, I don't know, skeptical, I guess. And I don't want her to get hurt. It's weird because she and I are in the most parallel situation we've ever been, you know, like, I mean, her and I have never expressed our feelings for each other, and who knows what'll happen with that. But, you know, she and I both are suddenly realizing that these guys we've been friends with for a long time are guys we actually have feelings for, and we both have this baggage that we have to deal with before we can really go forward. And I don't know, but she's staying out in Bend, which I don't think that she'd be happy if she came back here, although selfishly I think I'd kind of like it. But I never thought that was really a very plausible thing to have happen. But staying in Bend seems a little unfair too, because it's so small, and I feel bad for Mark, kind of, but whatever. I mean, she's got opportunities there, and it'd be silly to just ditch them, but I don't know. But so I've had like 2 marathon phone conversations with her this week. I've been getting shitty sleep. One night, Rich is on America Online, or for a little while anyway, and so I talked to him for a while on the computer, which was cool. I mean, it was good to like catch up and everything, because I hadn't heard from him in like 6 months, I guess, like since he'd been here last spring. And he was really nice. Like, he said that he missed me and he wants me to come visit, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and he always says he wants me to visit, but I definitely don't have time now, and I don't know what we'd do up there anyway, you know, and I don't know. But, it was nice. I haven't heard back from Calvin, and I don't really think about that very much, because there's no point to it, you know, and I mean, I'm sorry if I've caused him problems, but, you know, I've done what I could to do right by him, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And Howard is supposed to be sending the tape this weekend once he has postage money. And he and I haven't chatted in weeks, but, well, I guess almost 3 weeks. And, but we have been writing, like, nothing really long or heavy, but we've been writing regularly. Although, he doesn't seem to have been online very much. But he has had the flu, too, and I don't know. But it seems like things are getting back to normal, and, like, he wants them to be normal, and that's good. And, I mean, I think things are going to be okay on that score. But then there's this whole thing with the photo. But I'm just glad that we sort of weathered that storm. And, I mean, maybe that was all me in my head. I don't know. But in any case, I mean, and I don't know. But I think, I don't know what's going to happen, but at least we're going to be able to stay friends, which is good. But I want to talk to him, because I like him. And I talked to Mindy last week. I probably said that. I got a card for Heather's parents. I never sent it. I should have. I emailed Lauren. She emailed me back. Something we hadn't done in a long time. I don't know. I mean, there isn't really, like, that much specific stuff to report. I just wanted to check in because I won't be doing it again until next weekend, I guess. Let's do it Sunday. I have a lot of work to do this weekend, and I'm just not doing any tonight because it's just too nice to be able to sit, not have to wear constricting shoes, and I'm just tired, and ugh. This is just nice being able to, like, chill, because, like, last night I went to get cigarettes, and then I just, like, drove around the neighborhood real quick, but it's, like, it's too much pressure, because I know that I should be doing other things, and I hate that. I hate feeling all this pressure. So I'm just enjoying tonight, feeling okay. Released. I just want my life to get easier and funner. It's Saturday, December 13th, I think. And, well, there's 7 more school days till Christmas. And hopefully I'll be able to make it through. It's amazing how much I fuck up, But, I don't know. Hopefully I'll just get better. I'm still so fucking behind on grading. It's amazing. So, I don't know. But Gershon told me that she and the principal had a half-hour chat about me at lunch on Friday, talking all these good things about me. I don't know what they were. I didn't ask, but I can't imagine what they'd be. Well, she always says hi in the hall. She comes to work on time, most of the time. She signs the timesheet. What the fuck? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like things at school are getting better, but there are days that suck, and all these fucking fire drills, and I have trouble sustaining my concentration, and I don't know. But I went to the JV girls basketball game on Thursday because Stephanie asked me to, and hopefully maybe that'll make her do some work for me or something. So, okay. Here's the big thing of the week. I got Howard's tape and picture. And, I like the tape. There's some songs on there I really like, some I don't particularly care for. But it's just cool, that he made it for me. And he said that he's gonna eventually, one day, make me one using all of his resources. So the one I have now, CFHBT's Hallmark Holiday, is really just a sampler, a harbinger of things to come. We'll see how you feel when you get my picture, buddy. I made copies of my picture today. I'm going to send him the one of me and Dee in San Diego. And I don't know, feel like maybe it's sort of in bad taste to send him one from San Diego since he knows, but I don't know. I mean, it is the best one, so screw it. It's not like I have any ties to that picture anymore, although Heather said I should make pictures, copies, so I did, but whatever. His picture, Jesus, I mean, he's thin, slightly balding, and he's got a big, huge smile. I mean, he's totally my type. It's funny. Yeah, he's cute. I mean, and I pretty much thought he would be. I mean, but, you know, with the whole George thing, I wasn't sure, but, I mean, he said he was, you know, and I don't know, from things he said, it just seemed like he probably was, but, I don't know, I mean, it's 6 years old, the picture, but, he said he looks the same, so, but, I mean, he's so skinny. I mean, like, he's smaller than James, you know, and that's just crazy, because James was pretty damn small, so that's made me more nervous about sending him my picture, but, you know, we'll just see what happens. I mean, I don't know, like, I'm kind of bummed tonight, and I don't know, I think it's probably because I read some of the stuff I'd written to James, and I don't know why I did that. I didn't think it would have a reaction, but I think it has, or something has, and I don't know, maybe it is something else. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes Howard can be so, like, sort of patronizing, or he makes me feel like I maybe disclose too much information, which I know I have a tendency to do, and so maybe I should stop. I don't know, but I don't know. Like I was tempted to think I was mad at Howard, but then I figured no, it's probably the whole James thing. And I don't know. I just like, I mean, we haven't talked about meeting for a long time now, but I mean, the idea of doing that just I don't know. I mean, I just have a feeling that if I met him, I would probably really, really, really like him, and I like him enough as it is, you know, and if he didn't like me, it would just, I mean, I think that no matter what, we'd be able to be friends and all, but I don't know, I don't want to be rejected. I mean, I'm not entirely sure that he cares for me now, but I think that sometimes he does anyway, maybe, and if he just stopped, it would be because of my appearance, and I don't want that. But more than that, I just don't want any sort of rejection, you know? I don't want to have to deal with that again, and so it's just such a risk, you know? I mean, and sure, I mean, there's a chance that he could like me or whatever, and I don't know. Like, I mean, we haven't talked about it, so I don't know. But I mean, Mom and Dad are going to be on their cruise from the weekend after Christmas to the next weekend. And Craig may be going up to Philly for New Year's. And Mom's hoping that he'll take Michael with him. Or in any case, we're not supposed to have parties at our house. So I could end up with the house myself. And Heather and I said that we were going to do something if Mike isn't back by then, but I mean, I'm hoping he will be for her, but in which case I'll have the house myself and nothing to do, so in a way it'd be perfect if he came down, but I don't want him to come to our shitty house, and you know, I know he won't be back at school then, and so, and it seems like it'd maybe be a bad thing if we met on New Year's and it didn't work out, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Now I'm all down and I hate it. And, like, Fridays are cool because I have, you know, the weekend. But Saturday nights, I know I just have Sunday and then that's it. And it's just, I mean, when's it going to get better, you know? I mean, I should look forward to my job, not dread it, you know, and I don't know. It's just, it sucks how, like, my emotions just bounce from one extreme to the next, and I wish I could just be a normal person, you know, and I mean, like, I got exercise today. I mean, I didn't work out, but I took a long walk and was by the water, which should make me feel better. I just feel like this has been, like, a total year of transitions, you know? Transitioning first into getting a job, and now into, like, getting decent and getting used to one, you know? Getting ready to move out on my own and be independent. Getting over somebody who I thought, you know, maybe was going to be the one, if there was a one. And getting used to having an STD that's never going to go away. You know, it's all just like, you know, nothing really happened. Like, the two coolest things were getting a job and meeting Howard, which are two pretty damn significant things, but it's still just like this transition thing, and I don't know, maybe Howard and I are in a transition. We're just sort of forming continually. I don't know. I'm tired, yet I have to do more grading tonight. Just been kind of screwing around. I fuck up so much, and I wish I'd just get over it. And I'm a little apprehensive because I called Dee because she said to call when I got his picture, and she was on her way out, so we only talked briefly. But I wonder if now that she and Mark are broken up, maybe she won't really want to have much to do with anything that has to do with him. You know, like, and maybe if that's the case, she'll get over it, but maybe not. You know, especially since